Eden Care UK is a friendly intervention service providing support to people who are terminally ill reaching end of life. We advocate for a high quality of care and enhanced life choices, and challenge the isolation of elderly people through friendship and social activities. This service would not be possible without your support. Please donate edencareuk.com or call 07957 199 328.
আসসালামু আলাইকুম। ও আমার বোনজি, তাইনার আব্বা আম্মা নাই, আমারও তো ঠিক নাই বিয়া দিবার। আর তাই তোরারে দিবা নে, আমরা দোয়া করবো নি, তোরা সাহায্য করছো।
National Muslim Burial Register was established to support Muslims arrange their final rites. This service caters for Muslims who have no one to carry out their Islamic burial rites upon their death, including funeral planning and burial after their demise. Get in touch for a friendly chat and discuss our eligibility criteria. muslimburialfund.co.uk or call 07957 199 328. National Muslim Burial Register is a service offered
10 বছর
আর আম্মা
7 বছর
মানে তোর মা বাপ কেউ নাই না
না
তখন তো বিয়া ঠিক করছনি কোনো
ও ঠিক করছি তো অনেক আজারাতা সাহায্য লাগি রে বাবা আমি থাকি আপনার কাছে আপাতরাম জানে আমি পরিগুতারে একবার দিতাম
আমি তোমার প্রিয় হতে চাই আমি তোমার প্রিয় হতে চাই আমি তোমার প্রিয়।
আমার নাম জামলা, আমি ক্লাস 7 পড়ি। আমার আব্বা আম্মা মারা গেছেন। আব্বা মারা গেছেন 3 বছর আগে, আম্মা মারা গেছেন 2 বছর আগে।
Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to another exciting Chit Chat Show. This is our second week. I'd like you to join my fellow guests and co-presenters, Shahi Miah and Foysal. Assalamu alaikum, brothers.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
Right. I wasn't getting sound for a while there. Assalamu alaikum, everybody.
Wa alaikum assalam. Before we start, I'd just like to apologize for yesterday. Due to technical faults, we wasn't able to come on as our scheduled show midnight on Friday. So what we decided is to do a show today, so you don't feel left out. We have a very exciting show lined up for you. We'll be talking various topics. Inshallah, you will join us in taking part in some of the discussions. Please do phone in so we can have a chat with yourself. Or if you prefer, leave a comment and we shall discuss that as well. Brothers, today we have various fundraising appeal. The first one is we want to raise 3 orphans sponsorship. So please, everyone who's watching, get in touch with us. You can see the website on the scrolling bars. Go to there, to 13 Rivers Trust, and sponsor 3 orphans. Also, from midnight today, we have a launch good challenge. It's a 24-hour challenge where the most supporters can win up to $5,000. So with your help, inshallah, let's see if we can win that $5,000. What do you think, Shahi? Is that a good initiative to start off with?
Yeah, fantastic. I mean, we want to make it a fun and interesting discussion, but we've got to keep in mind that our real objective is to raise awareness and try and get involvement with the sort of excellent programs that 13 Rivers Trust are running to help communities, widows, orphans, and needy families in Bangladesh. So orphans being probably one of the most support-worthy causes there, in my opinion.
Yes, and also
And
all the other projects.
with the Launch Goods Challenge, I believe you can give any amount, but even a £3 donation, the more we get, the highest number of donations given in a 24-hour period, isn't it? Starting from 12 o'clock midnight tonight up until tomorrow.
That's right.
Is that right?
So, I mean, you can give £1, any amount that you want. Minimum is £1. So it is not how much that you actually donate, it's the number of supporters. So we want lots and lots of people to go to our Facebook. There should be a link on there. Please click on that link and donate at least £1. So within that 24-hour period, if we are the highest people with the most supporters, then inshallah we can win that $5,000. So Foysal,
yeah,
inshallah.
no, thank you.
I'll let you start off with our first topic of today discussion. I'll let you start off with the topic.
Assalamu alaikum. Thank you very much, Azafor, and assalamu alaikum to all our viewers as well. And I hope today we can get some of our viewers to call in and join us and share your views on the various topics that we'll be discussing. I just want to add something to the sponsorship appeal that we've embarked on now on the orphanage widows. It's really important that we try and help these poor people, needy people that do look up for help for those who can help. And us being fortunate where we are in here, alhamdulillah, we should try and sort of help as much as possible, particularly in this month of Ramadan, where the barakah is so much more. So yeah, I second that, what you said before, Shahi and Azafor, and to our viewers, please join in, and also please make any size of contribution you can towards these really noble causes. So kicking off on today's program, we'll start off with some crypto craziness that's going on. I'm hearing about, I was slightly involved in somewhat, and this crypto madness that's going on at the moment. Everyone seems to be kind of crypto crypto.
What is this crypto? What exactly is it?
Well, from what I understand, 2000 cryptocurrency evolved a few years ago from a coin called Bitcoin, which was from the kind of 2007 onwards, I think it was, or just after the 2008 financial crisis. I think it was developed.
I mean, we can spend all night on the history of it, but in a nutshell,
I'm just saying that.
In a nutshell, I mean, I'm not an expert, but as I understand it, it's basically a piece of software that allows people to manipulate it's almost an imaginary currency, but because people have started using it, it's become a real currency. It's become something that's traded. It's almost like making value out of thin air. You know, it's incredible.
So you can go and spend this virtual.
Well, that's the thing. When it first came out, I remember I was in college or school.
Shahi, there's a ghost behind you. The door just opened and it closed.
All right, that's good. I think that might be your baby, actually.
Hello.
But,
Assalamu alaikum. Is that
we have a caller? Assalamu alaikum.
Hello.
Salam. This is Abu Mumin. I really want to talk about a very important topic, if you don't mind.
I don't think we can stop you, can we? Go ahead, please.
Yeah. It's really close and personal to me. I just think I went to Italy today. I ate so much food. I'm completely knocked out. And I want my panel of experts to give me some advice as to how not to eat too much food during iftar.
Right.
Well, that's easy. Just walk away.
It's hard. The food is so delicious.
Well, that's it. I don't know how cryptocurrency became a food subject, but we'll answer your question. Try and not eat as much as you want, basically.
Try using a very small spoon. Don't use your hands here. Just use a really small spoon. Take it one spoon at a time. That'll sort you out.
And even better if the spoon's got a big hole in it as well. So every time you pick up, the food falls through it.
So, anyway, in summary, you need a small spoon with a big hole. Is what.
Yes, caller. Sorry, we cut you.
Yeah, listen. Can I just say one more thing in terms of if everyone donates 3 or as much money as possible and encourage everybody else to get another 3 people, and if everybody else get another 3 people, inshallah, we can easily win this. So I would encourage everyone to do this, or call us tomorrow when we're on Channel S.
Inshallah, yeah, I think that's a good idea. We're going to be live on Channel S tomorrow.
So coincide with our challenge as well. So yes, inshallah, do that as well. So I hope we have given you some advice in regards to having too much food at iftar time.
Okay.
Like I said, me personally, I would just walk away with a glass of water and 3 dates. I think that should be sufficient. So try not to eat too much during iftar. Obviously, you're going to feel bloated afterwards. Have sufficient that it fills you up. So I hope that will encourage you not to eat too much, Abu Way. And in terms of, obviously, we will encourage everyone to donate to our launch good as well. So thank you very much for your call, inshallah.
All right, sounds good.
Going back to crypto, so
everyone.
Assalamu alaikum, Abdurrahim.
I'm sorry, I just a little bit overran on Tarawih. I completely forgot.
Did you by any chance overeat a little bit at iftar time?
You might have a little bit, yeah.
A little bit
as usual,
yes.
Bit of a snooze in between.
And Abdurrahim Bhai is a expert on the cryptocurrency. So
in this group, you're our crypto guru. Hope you don't mind me saying guru, but yeah.
So Foysal Bhai, I'll let you finish, then I'm going to get Abdurrahim.
Yeah, I'm just going to say that with crypto, from what Shahi said, it's not a legal tender, but people are using as a medium of buying and selling, and it's gone quite frantic actually in the world of crypto. I think the market is about $2 trillion now. $2 trillion.
Funny you should say that. Bitcoin is worth more than Barclays, Lloyd's, all the big banks put together. That's how big it's become. It's become a monster.
And that's saying something.
It's amazing.
It's unbelievable. We're talking about trillions and trillions of imaginary, but now real, because we've made it real. Well, not us, but people who've used it have made it real.
It's a new dimension.
Can I just add? A few years back, they were giving these away for free.
Yeah,
that's what I was going to say.
They were literally giving
remember
hundreds and thousands of these to people for free.
I remember somebody saying, somebody's offered me 1,000 Bitcoins. I had no idea what they were talking about.
If you had 1,000 now,
he was saying that if I hold on to it for a year or so, I might be able to buy a pizza.
So it just goes to show. People were skeptical about this going back when they've initially started. I know some people that were offered hundred thousands of these coins as a free, just to get them interested into it. So just imagine 1,000 now. What is it? Nearly 40,000 for one coin. So
you can buy.
It went over $50,000. It went over.
Apparently, you can buy a Tesla with one Bitcoin.
Well, there you go. So 1,000 of those, you'd be
not the whole company, one car. You're talking about
rubbing your hands and thinking.
We're at it. If you got 1,000 Bitcoin, you probably would have owned the whole company.
So, Abdurrahim, I know you're a little bit interested in the cryptocurrency. Maybe you can give us a little.
Well, I wasn't interested at all. It's something that I got into over the last couple of weeks. It's I didn't dive into it. There was a couple of guys I work with. So they're into it and they introduced me to it. So I thought I'd look into it. But the more I looked, it's actually very risky. You have to, you can't give financial advice on cryptocurrency because, it's very, very volatile. Just yesterday and today it's down 40%. So if you invested £1,000 last week, you'll be looking at £600 right now, and you'll be like, "Oh my God, what did I do?" So some people
on this point, I've heard some brothers, some comments from other people saying that is it actually in terms of the ethics, like is it halal or whatever, like trading in these highly volatile
I was going to say
commodities.
that. Is it same as like shares and stuff like that?
Well, the thing is, it's all supply and demand. It works on the same principle. So where you've got a currency with a high demand and a short supply, naturally the value goes up. And where you've got high supply, it's all to do with economics at the end of it, the basic economics. And I think I've got
a slight reservation with Bitcoin in particular, because from reports that I've, like in the newspapers and so on, apparently it was being used by some very unsavory purposes. So, for example, arms dealers, criminals, they were sort of moving their money around because
the virtual
theory, it can't
money
be traced, So that's one of the things that gives me a bit of a worry about these kind of currencies.
It was used as an underground means of things when it started.
I think initially when it came out and it started functioning,
this criminal fraternity was actually using it to move their money around and buy stuff in the dark web, whatever that is, to basically arms, like you said, arm deals and other funny stuff. So it was largely used by criminals, but now that it's come in the forefront, where normal people are now getting into it, buying not just Bitcoin, but there's other coins out there as well.
Yeah, about thousands and thousands of coins. Yeah.
And there's a lot of people, like I said, in the last few weeks, I've just heard a lot of people are dabbling in the cryptocurrency market.
Okay, so I'm not a trader, like a big trader or anything, but again, I've read reports, and when something becomes saturated, that's not a good time to go into it, because it's become like it's so hyped. It's become like I don't know, like everyone's jumping on board and they don't really know what they're doing, and it's going to kind of cause problems later on, I think.
It is. It's kind of a rabbit hole. I mean, it is a very deep rabbit hole. You can just and I know some people who have literally just thrown money after money after money into it, tens of thousands of pounds, and now they're actually quite worried that if it continues to keep going down the way it's going down at the moment, a lot of people will lose money in this. There is a very small percentage of people who will make money. The people who invested right at the beginning, but people who are investing in the last couple of weeks are going to lose. I've already lost a lot of money and are potentially going to lose a lot more than that. So it's very risky. So if anybody wants to get into it, you have a feel for it, and I'll see what it's doing and up and down, see a pattern and stuff like that. I mean, some people just trade, they do a daily trade and stuff like that. And some people just put money in and just leave it for the long run. But it can go up, as in like Bitcoin did, or it can go like completely the other way. So, and you can lose a lot of money.
So at the end of the day, the advice is that if you're not be careful,
there's no advice really.
You can lose your pants.
Also, on a slightly on a sort
and
of
you shouldn't invest money that you're dependent on. It's money that you can probably do without. If you lose change, so if you lose the money, you've lost it. That's it. But if it was your money for your wedding or something like that,
I think we have a call coming in.
We have a call. Assalamu alaikum.
I think so. Hello. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam.
Who's this?
Do you have a question for us, caller? Can you get your name, please, as well?
Yep. You don't need to know my name, and I know all of you. Alhamdulillah.
Oh,
fantastic Chit Chat Show.
Thank you.
Oh, that's nice of you.
Very interesting topic. Abdurrahim Bhai is expert of.
No, I'm not.
Do you have a question or comment for us? Is it Hafiz Bhai?
Habib Bhai.
Habib Bhai, sorry. Pardon me.
Yeah, no, alhamdulillah.
Habib Bhai, would you have any opinion on this? Because I know you've been doing the Imam show, haven't you? Like the Ask the Imam or something. So what about the ethics? Do you think it's halal to trade in these very volatile, currencies, cryptocurrencies? I don't know if that question's ever come up.
If you say halal and haram, I don't think I can even make any comment whatsoever.
Fair enough.
we'll put you on the spot, Habib Bhai. Just say yes or no.
But what I would like to say, obviously, I'm in the same sort of situation. Just wanted to explore. I know this cryptocurrency is not regulated. It is a volatile market. And potentially, some people, I think, potentially can make a lot of money. And some people potentially could lose substantial amount of money. My advice would be to everyone is to be cautious, do research, and then if you want to invest anything, just think before you do it. Just make sure you are comfortable so that even though if you lose a small amount of money, then at least you won't regret about it. It's a good experience to explore. I'm going to do the same. I thought little bit advice from expert. So inshallah, I'm going to try to do little investment just to see how it works.
Great.
Yeah, I think that's advice to don't go in there and lose everything. That will then you find hardship in your family, etc. If you got a spare couple of pounds, try it out. Better still, if you're not happy with it, just don't get involved into it. So
can I just quickly make a little environmental angle on this, which is that all the computers, because Bitcoin is regulated by all the computers here. There's a computer network. There's no bank, right? So all the computers that are managing the Bitcoin transactions and whatnot and mining and so on, they use more energy, electricity than some countries. Can you imagine that? So, this is another thing to think about. If you want to, if you don't want to sort of destroy the environment, we've got to think about these kind of things as well,
Okay. Bye for your comments there. I think it's quite relevant as well. So I hope everybody takes that on board. So we're going to go on to our next topic. We are going to coming up with a break shortly. So before the break, let's go into another topic of ours. And this is, I'll ask Brother Shahi to introduce this topic, and then we can have a little quick discussion.
Yeah, so this topic, I found it very sort of fascinating on many levels. It's regarding what happened to George Floyd in America, where a policeman basically caused his death by the way he was restrained, by kneeling on him on his neck. And I think probably most, like, it's been all around the world, many people have seen the video itself. And it's quite chilling and harrowing to see what happened to him. And then the consequences of it and the effects of it around the world. There were protests sparked all over the United States. I think even in the UK and other parts of the world.
Yeah, I think most of the world.
And
a lot of part, yeah.
I mean, and what I found really fascinating was the recent trial of, I think, Derek Chauvin. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. Is the policeman who was involved. And I watched a bit of it, the defense lawyers and the prosecuting lawyers. And the defense lawyers seemed so confident that they could explain that the cause of death wasn't due to the policeman, it was due to other reasons. And I was shocked. I couldn't believe what I was watching.
And then again, defense, that's their job. That's what they do.
No, of course, I take that on board. But it seems like it's almost like a standard thing that police, when they're involved in these kind of situations, they are expected to be treated sort of leniently, and if anything, they won't get reprimanded for it. So I was really relieved. Personally, I was relieved when the verdict came out. And apparently there were a lot of unprecedented events around the case as well, where the superior officers gave evidence. A lot of additional experts came in support of the prosecution, which was that George Floyd was actually unlawfully killed. So I think for me, obviously we saw the protests. They were taking place in the background of COVID as well, around the COVID crisis. And it gives me a little bit of hope that, the tragic event that happened, the tragic loss of life and the horrible way in which he lost his life, and also what he said, I can't breathe. He was saying to him clearly, please, I can't breathe, you're suffocating me. And the guy just ignored it, and until his life ebbed away. And I think, I don't know, it gives me despite the fact that it's such a tragedy, it gives me a little bit of hope that the legal system and, they made the right decision in the end. And maybe, just maybe, there might be a bit of a chance that things will change in future. That's what I'm hoping. But you can never be sure. These things are so.
Sorry, can I just talking about this? Obviously, our younger viewers would not have any experience of this, but people of my age, going back to the early 80s, we had not that tragic thing, but we had experience of where police would randomly stop you in the streets. And they weren't polite as they are now. It was basically explicit. They'll call you by the P word, etc. Yeah, that was common. Oi, you P, come over here, search you, throw you around a little bit, be a bit aggressive and all that. And they got away with it. Yeah. There was no thingy. We had a cooler.
You don't think in the 80s, it happened even into the 90s,
Can I just interrupt? We have a caller.
Assalamu alaikum.
Can you speak up, please?
Walaikum salam. Sorry, brother, you have cut. We couldn't quite hear you. Yeah, we can hear you better now.
He needs to mute his video. He needs to mute his
brother,
video.
can you mute the video in the background, because the sound's not coming, like your voice isn't coming through clearly enough.
It's me, Dawood.
Yeah, that's a bit better. Can we get your name, please, and your comment or question?
I think it's Dawood.
Ah, is that Dawood?
Yes.
Assalamu alaikum.
How are you doing?
Thanks for joining us.
I was going to say, I agree with you completely. I was watching it, the whole trial, and I agree that hopefully things were changed. I just wanted to say that I agree 100% that things will change, hopefully, because what happened in a court case, I was shocked as well. And I was thinking, how can you, at one point, they were going to put him down as a mistake. And I'm thinking, you can't do that. So I'm just happy that you brought this up, because this is a subject that needs to be spoken about.
Yes,
thank you,
I think it's quite important. Thank you, Brother Dawood, for your call. Obviously, it's not just in America. It happens in this country as well, where disproportion of Black and ethnic minority people are stopped, searched, and do have sometimes get physical as well. So it's not uncommon in this country either. Obviously, this case shocked the world due to the fact that the severity of it, and then person to lose his life.
I think it was more because it was recorded by chance.
And plus, yes, and nowadays, because of the social media, it's now more prevalent that people will show it, record it on video, and then it'll go viral, etc. Whereas in our days, as we were speaking just before, Brother Dawood, I don't know how old you are, if you had any knowledge of this, nobody would record it. So, every time we walked out, we knew that maybe we'll be stopped by the police. I remember one vivid occasion where we were coming from where we used to do the night vigil in the mosque, Shatasha, as it was called back in those days. Sorry, not Shatasha, what's the other one? Shubha Barat, yes. And we come back 4 or 5 in the morning from the mosque. There was about 5, 6 of us. And there was 2 guys just sitting against the wall. It turns out they were undercover police sitting there pretending to be, I don't know what they were doing at 4 or 5 in the morning. But as we were walking past, they jumped out, declared they were police, put us against the wall, searched us, etc., asking questions, what you're doing at this time of the night. And we was only about 12, 13 at the time, 14. We explained to them that it was a religious thing, that we spent the night in the mosque, and now we're coming back home. But obviously they weren't too, I don't know if they were aware of these things at that time, now maybe, and they didn't believe us, obviously. So it was,
I
I'm going to take you to the house and stuff like that.
Yeah, Azafor, I just want to share that, we've in the 80s and perhaps Abdurrahim, you were saying in the 90s as well, this was ongoing here, perhaps not to the same degree, simply because gun laws are very different in the United States compared to here. And with this case, I think Black Lives Matters campaign spearheaded the issue, and especially in George Floyd's case, where it made it not just an issue in America. It came to UK, Europe, and global. It was a global issue, acknowledged by everyone.
It's really interesting what you've just said, and it makes me wonder if there wasn't this widespread media interest in this case, global media interest. Would the police officer have actually been found guilty? It makes me wonder.
I think so,
I think
previously there was a few other cases that turned out quite differently. I don't know, a couple of years back, there was this young boy who was gunned down, I think by a security guard or some
that closed community where he was walking past.
I don't know what happened, but there wasn't such a media.
And he wasn't even a cop. He was one of those hired security.
Security guards.
But then saying that, on the day the George Floyd's case, the verdict was announced, on the same day there was a black person who was shot dead by another police officer in the same state. So the thing is, I don't think this is going to be, we're going to see an end-all solution from this verdict. This is probably going to be a start of a campaign that will be ongoing to see justice. I mean, the good thing is that it's the first step towards the right direction. I think that's the main thing, that the acknowledgement that there was misjustice, and there was the law enforcement have been sort of like identified as doing something wrong, particularly in that state.
Being basically heavy-handed with people of color. That's what it boils down to. Thank you, Brother Dawood, for your call.
Thank you, Dawood.
Thank you.
You'll probably set a precedent for other police officers, to be a little bit more careful.
I think if I can just quickly come in on that one. So it almost seems like it's like a siege mentality, where you've got sort of it's almost like, this is our territory, don't come into it. If you come in, we're gonna get you, sort of thing. It's almost, it's not that, but that's what it seems like sometimes, because like you said, even in the last few days, it's not just one. There have been a number of cases of people being shot by the police, and quite a few, and a couple of them were fatal, and one of them was a teenage, like a very young child as well. So there's a whole culture. There's a whole kind of culture in the States around weapons and armaments. And if I don't know, if they can campaign and maybe work on that, as well as on how policing is done and how different communities are treated by the police. And like you said, it's not just in the States, it's here as well. Maybe not to such a violent degree, because thank God at the moment we don't have so many firearms in
America. It's probably easier as well for the police officer just to pull out a gun. If his life is threatened,
they do. That's why. If it's a traffic offence in America, I was going to say in America, even if it's a traffic offence, the police officers can immediately, bring out the pistol and hold up the firearms.
They can just claim self-defense, isn't it? That's it.
No, simply because gun is a private person.
It's the way of life over there. It's the way of life.
And so the police officer in America, it's a threat on their life as well, because the person they're sort of stopped, they could easily get a gun out and shoot them. So for their own defense, I think that's what they do in America. But that's America. Here, we shouldn't have anything near what happens in America, because our system's completely different. But then again, we've had a report recently from the government saying that the UK does not have any institutional racism anymore, which I sort of like, when I heard it, I was wondering who the authors were and what the motive was behind the report and what the actual outcome would be if it was.
I mean, if we go back to the,
we'll continue with that one because it obviously is relevant to ourselves in the UK about that report. But before we do that, I'd just like to read out a couple of comments from Akila Ali. It was the blatant lack of humanity that stirred out a lot of emotion for so many people.
Absolutely.
Where police brutality has become such a norm that there is no accountability from the organizations that are meant to protect us. And lastly, even the Met Police refused to acknowledge institutional racism. Coming to the subject that we were just talking about the report, Shahi, I'll let you finish. Sorry for interrupting you.
Thank you, Akila. That was my daughter.
What I was going to say was, I think George Floyd, the tragic loss of his life, the trial of Derek Chauvin, and the protests, the sort of passionate and widespread protests that followed after that, it shows that maybe some change can be sort of encouraged through people power, through protest. And I hope, like you said, it's the start. It's not, by no means, it's not a sort of, the process has only just begun. It's like the very first step almost, but at least it's a step in the right direction after that tragedy that happened and the tragic loss of life. And I think it should encourage everyone to kind of, it doesn't mean you have to go out in the street and, sort of take up arms and all that, but to be aware and support these kind of movements that, slowly they may be able to implement some change that can be beneficial for all of us,
Before we go into the break, I just want to give Foysal and Abdul Rahim a little thingy. So in regards to this report, what does it exactly, what's the effect that it's going to have on us as an ethnic minority, if any?
Go on, Abdul Rahim.
Me personally, I think when I heard the report, I just laughed like I did. I mean, it's not possible. It's like, I mean, if they say that now things are a little bit different, I mean, me personally, I think things are a little bit different from what it was like early 90s and mid 90s. I mean, it was bad. It was everywhere. I mean, I like we were saying before, the police officers used to ask us in the morning at 8:30 in the morning in school uniform, where you going? I'm like, where do you think we're going? We're going to school. Can you not see? You're coming on the way back. It was everywhere. It was rampant. Even now, I mean, with work and stuff like that, I don't know. I think it was basically a case of, some people doing their exam and then the same person sort of marking their homework, I think that was it. Yeah, I think you can't mark your own homework.
The thing is, Abdul Rahim, you're absolutely right on that. And I mean, it said that the comment was about institutional racism. Now, that's one aspect. And then you've got kind of more direct kind of racism experiences that people kind of experience. So the institutional racism is not always kind of seen or it's not so obvious at times. And it could be something that's happening, but it's not in the face that people will be able to tell immediately that there is something wrong here, something wrong going on. It's only when you are, say, going into an establishment or where you are either trying to get a job or you're trying to...
If your name was Abdullah Muhammad, you were not going to get a job in the 90s.
Well, absolutely. Well, even perhaps even now.
Even now, yeah.
So these are the aspects of how you're treated by certain sort of like government departments or officials. If you're a job seeker, if you're going for a job seekers allowance, or if you're trying to get a job, or different aspects of life where people are having to use services from the establishment.
They've done many sort of experiments where they've sent out applications with different names.
The same person.
For the same person, so like with an Asian name or a Muslim sounding name or like a black community sounding name, and they've always found that the sort of standard English sounding names, they got preferentially selected with the same qualifications. So
same background, same.
That's actually quite well established even to this day.
Well, that
And
proves that institutional racism is still there.
Yeah, of course. I mean, that's in one area only, but this can occur in any sphere of life. You know, we know, we hear reports that in maternity wards, young, sort of mothers going into maternity wards, if they're from the minority communities, and I think black community, they have 4 times as much chance of a complication or some event happening which is detrimental to their health when they're going in for maternity service. So it can't be that they're, why is that? So there's got to be some reason which is related to the fact that they're related to their background. So
even minorities having access to services that they should be entitled to, it's just getting that access. Sometimes people have so much difficulty.
A funny one, yeah. So I know we meant to make the show light where possible. During the lockdown, I think I don't know how to put it. Non-white people who are breaking lockdown, I think they were like 10 times more likely to get penalized than other communities. So I don't know. I mean, this is what I saw on the news. I don't know if I can't verify it myself, but because I didn't break lockdown, I was at home.
That's right. Yeah, we're all adhering to the government advice. Stay home and be safe.
All I read in Facebook and other places is all the agents are breaking all the lockdown rules.
Look, I even ask people not to, even on Facebook, I say no more than 6 people,
Well, just right. Four of us. Just on Eid itself, they were saying we shouldn't be doing Eid because we'll all be getting together with our large extended families and spreading the virus, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, this subject we can talk on for a show on its own. But unfortunately, we'll have a break coming up shortly, and then we have another topic that we'll go to.
Can we quickly remind everybody about the appeals? So we would like to get, inshallah, with your support, even if you're watching this later on streaming, we want to get 3 orphans from this show, support 3 orphans. And I believe it's £20 a month to support an orphan with their education, their living, and their sort of environmental costs for a whole year, isn't it? £20 a month.
Or £240 a year.
Per year, yeah. So that's our appeal. Hopefully we can get that 3 sponsorship before we finish this show. Also, we want you to take part in our Launch School Challenge, where we can win $5,000 in a 24-hour challenge. So please go there, and even if you have to donate, you can donate £1 or any amount that you can. And inshallah, within 24 hours, if we are the one with the most donors, then we're in for a chance to win that $5,000. So with that, thank you very much for my panel and my co-guest as well. We'll go for a short break. We'll come back and then we'll discuss our next topic, inshallah.
Stay with us, please.
And please call in.
Eden Care UK is a friendly intervention service providing support to people who are terminally ill reaching end of life. We advocate for a high quality of care and enhanced life choices, and challenge the isolation of elderly people through friendship and social activities. This service would not be possible without your support. Please donate edencareuk.com or call 07957 199 328. 480,000 cremations take place every year in the UK. Some of these cremations sadly include Muslims. We offer burial support for Muslim reverts who are vulnerable and alone, including an Islamic will service. If you or someone you know is worried about not receiving a Muslim burial, then contact us today. muslimburialfund.co.uk or call 07957 199 328. A project of Muslim Burial Fund.
13 Rivers Trust presents Ask the Imam, live on Facebook, brought to you by Muslim Burial Fund in association with Eden Care UK and Select Aid. Guests include Sheikh Solomon Ghani, Hafiz Abul Hussein Khan, Imam Abdullah Hassan, and Imam Zubair Kareem. Join us this Ramadan and learn your deen.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My dear respected brothers, sisters, and kids. I didn't see you there. And do you know what is happening this Ramadan? I mean like this Ramadan 2021. Actually, I, Tamjeed Al-Qadir, will be hosting Young Muslims to Learn. So why don't you stay tuned for more? So you might be wondering, when is the time? When is it? What day is it? What time is it? Tell me more. So inshallah, I will be doing that. So the timings will be every weekend in Ramadan. Saturday and Sunday weekend. In Ramadan, the times are 6 p.m. to 6:45 p.m. That is where I will be. And you might be like, okay, yes, that has helped us, but how do we join? So if you want to join, you can go onto Facebook and search 13 Rivers Trust. Or you can go into Facebook and type in MyRamadanTv. Or if you're not on the Facebook type, you might go onto YouTube and search up MyRamadanTv. So that is where you'll be finding me. And Jazakallah, and I hope to see you all. Kids, remember this. I hope to see you all on Young Muslims to Learn. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Assalamu alaikum, welcome back. Abdurrahim, I see you made your cup of tea.
Yes.
Now you need a cup of tea, bro, after you come from Taraweeh. So, following on from our previous discussion, we have a new topic to discuss now. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to introduce this topic. It's the pandemic in India and the rise in the COVID cases. Now, recently, in the last few days, there's been a huge amount of deaths in India, and the cases have, in fact, they've set a record, I believe, the number of cases per day that is risen, and also the deaths. There are people lying on the streets, apparently. They don't have enough pyres, funeral pyres to burn the bodies, and obviously there's no space in the hospital. On top of that, they run out of oxygen as well. So I'd just like to go and get views from my guests and co-hosts in regards to this, and what's your take on it? Shahi?
Yeah, I mean, I've been reading about this because I was a bit shocked when India was left off the red list. When I think about a week or so ago, a week and a half ago, when Bangladesh, Pakistan,
3 weeks ago, I think it was.
Yeah, a couple of the other countries around that area, they were actually put on the red list, which means that people can't fly freely. They have to quarantine. And even at that time, I believe India's incidents and cases were much higher. So I was a bit puzzled as to why India wasn't added to the list at the same time. Yeah. Subsequently, it seems that it was because I think the Prime Minister was planning to visit India with the hope of possibly discussing some sort of trading, sort of a deal or relationship sort of in the pipeline. However, it's
that
got
might be
so
the
bad.
reason why there was not added to the red list, so the Prime Minister can fly out there, maybe.
Well, that's what, well, I don't know.
Making all the vaccines as well, isn't it?
I think the Prime Minister wanted to request more vaccine from India as well.
Yeah.
So if he had actually put India on the red list, then I don't think the Indians would be very pleased and offer any vaccines to the Prime Minister.
I mean, to be quite honest with you, that red list is it's not always the virus cases. It depends on whether or not you can get something out of it by the looks of it. Anyway, particularly
Some of the countries on the red list are very
specifically
questionable.
Bangladesh, because a few people went out there on emergencies or family reasons, etc. We have one of our volunteers who's stuck in Bangladesh out there as well.
He's still there.
He's trying to get back, but unfortunately he can't. One, he can't fly out from there. Two, he needs to quarantine when he gets back. And the actual cost of quarantine in the UK is quite a large and substantial amount. If you think about it, what is it, £1,800 for a 10-day stay?
1,700.
Approximately, something like that.
I mean, I would have thought that. Me personally, I would have preferred a prison cell on Her Majesty's service.
Just imagine. I mean, that's for
give me a
one
cup
person.
of tea for 10 days, and they'll let me out again.
If you've got there with a family of 4 or 5 people, that's like.
Just imagine, yeah. So it's not nothing to sniff at. That's quite a lot of money, especially in this pandemic times where a lot of people don't have the resources, financial resources, to actually pay for it. And
I feel so sorry for people in India right now, because I think due to I don't know what it was. I mean, the government seemed to be saying that they'd cracked the problem. India wasn't.
But to be honest, I'm not really feel sorry for them, because the majority of them, they believe that coronavirus don't even exist. I mean, there was a large.
That's what I'm saying. I mean,
gathering the other day. I saw
the Kumbh Mela that took place only.
They would only believe that if their sort of information,
the day after that,
and the media.
The day after that, they recorded the highest number of cases,
portraying the fact that they were
it's
okay.
Not just the people, because
I think
India's got an election coming up. I think. Sorry.
Right. Sorry. So in the first wave, they weren't affected as badly as other countries in comparison to other countries. So that may have given them a bit of a false sense of security. And I believe, Ibrahim Bhai, you were saying something that might shed some light on it.
Yeah, I think they're having their elections, I think, sometimes.
Well,
soon.
Prime Minister Modi is going around too. He's going to West Bengal and places
all
like
of them.
that.
They're having rallies and stuff and everything, a big rallies. A lot of people are turning up to the rallies. And then obviously you have the Kumbh Mela. And I was just watching the report.
And that's the large one.
Well, on top of that, they've had the cricket as well. All the sporting events are going ahead. So you've got all these super spreader events which are being allowed to go ahead because the government hasn't taken any action. So that's why I feel sorry for the people, because their government has let them down, in my opinion, big time. And now, just imagine, right, in a population of over 1 billion, even if 0.6% of the people are affected, seriously, do you know how many people that is? 6 million people. So potentially 6 million people could end up seriously ill, or even worse.
Well, I read on various media platforms, they're just dropping off like flies. People are just not able to get to the hospitals because there's no space.
Because people are being turned away from hospital, and they're going from hospital to hospital looking for
government hospitals. They're all having problems.
What happened to Foysal?
Most probably he fell off from his laptop. Inshallah, he'll come back anyway, no problem. Yeah. But the other thing was quite interesting. I read was a lot of them apparently believe in the cure to coronavirus is cow's urine. I mean, I don't know how true that is, but they.
I don't think that they're probably not the vast majority. I mean, you probably have a small sect probably who believe that. I've seen
it was actually a newspaper article that I read.
Well, as I just wanted to add to that. What it is I've just seen a little it's on social media, but I think it was on one of the news channels as well. It may have been Al Jazeera or one of them, where it was someone of BJP support. Someone supports the BJP government. Kind of a priest-like person. The person had a bottle in their hand, and there was a COVID patient suffering from COVID, and they had on a ventilator, taking oxygen. They removed the oxygen, and they were actually making the person drink the cow urine, as if it would cure the person. So, like Abdul Rainbow saying, India is a vast country with a huge population. When you say minority, that minority is probably equivalent to a majority size population in a country, in a different country. So the impact that's having, the political kind of thinking around, the BJP basically,
Yeah.
the way they going ahead and they dismissed the whole COVID situation initially. Now they fell on their face and now they can't cope or deal with the situation because they weren't prepared for it. They weren't prepared to accept that COVID was an issue in India.
I mean, last year Modi said 21 days. He's going to get rid of COVID in 21 days. And
So that's why I come back to, sadly,
That's what Modi said.
Well,
Well,
believe that the government has let down the people here with their sort of messaging that it's not serious, nothing's going to happen. Come to the rally,
Did
support
you
our
remember
politics.
what the American president said at the time? What's his name?
Bleach.
Oh, Blondie.
What did he say?
Oh, he said something about shining a torch in somewhere, like the strong light will.
Oh, was it the bleach?
I don't know which way he was putting it, but this guy.
He was dismissive also. All those people who were dismissive of
The
these.
guy in Brazil as well. Is it Bolsonaro? Sorry, Bolsonaro. Sorry, my Portuguese.
Your pronunciation. I think you need to work on your pronunciation, Shahi.
But the serious
I need to take some Portuguese lessons, I think,
The serious question is, let me ask you, the panel, would that have a knock-on effect to Bangladesh and Pakistan as well?
I think most
now, the
definitely
serious
will.
question to me is, Azafor Bhai, will that have a knock-on effect in the UK? Because what I know, India's on the red list, and that it was announced a few days ago. It was only implemented yesterday. From what I understand from news and other sources, every single day you've got 30 flights directly coming into the UK. We're not even counting the flights that come in from India via other countries. Right. And all these people have landed in the UK without checks, without anything. How are they going to assimilate in the community? They're not quarantined or anything.
So just to be clear, the people who've come in the last few days, do they not need to quarantine or register?
Not until yesterday.
Not until yesterday.
Right, so that's bound to have an effect because there's a huge diaspora, a huge Indian community in the UK, and sort of Indian, Bengali, and so on. So
and that will have inevitably. My worry is that are we going to have an imminent third sort of like phase of COVID?
Well, they're saying it's a different variant as well.
It's more stranger variant. Even they're even saying that the vaccines might not even cover the
that's
variants.
Right, and some of the reports in the newspapers are saying that it's affecting different age groups as well. It's not just like the older age groups that are falling ill.
Yeah,
hospitals are seeing younger age groups and people without preconditions and so on. So it's quite a worrying prospect, I think.
Yeah, it is worrying, and I think Azerbaijan, you're saying about Bangladesh and Pakistan, which are neighboring countries to India as well. I mean, inevitably,
I only say that because of the situation of the poor.
Absolutely, and it's a valid point.
They're in lockdown as well. So, Assalamu alaikum. I think we have a call, Foysal. Okay, if we can just take that. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum. Who's called?
My name is Amin.
Assalamu alaikum.
Oh, nice to hear from you, Mr. Amin. What would you like to
What do you have to say?
No, I just want to call in, say hello to you, brothers. Oh yeah,
that was nice of you. Well, I don't know if you were hearing earlier, but some of the topics we were discussing, maybe you want to discuss one of these topics, was cryptocurrency. I don't know if you have any views on that, by the way. Do I know you say laughter of nervousness?
That says everything that he needs to say.
No, we're just discussing about the.
Would you like to put that into words, please, Mr. Amin?
And the effect, a lot of people are getting into it. Was it a good idea, a bad idea?
I don't recommend anyone get into it, to be honest.
Okay, so you're a no person, yeah?
I'm a no person.
All right then.
So is that through like experiencing it yourself, or you just like staying away from it? What's the?
Sorry,
you got banned.
Sorry.
Did you get banned?
Your voice was a little bit breaking up, so we didn't quite hear what you were saying.
Oh, sorry. No, I said it's a very risky market, and people don't understand how volatile the cryptocurrency market is. you can invest a lot of money and then you could lose all your money within seconds.
I think that's what Abdul and Brodias was saying, that you need to be careful. A lot of people might fall into debt. We were advising that.
Sometimes.
Well, that's what we're saying. We're saying if you have a couple of quid spare, and if you want to just dabble in it, if you're interested in it.
What I would recommend is if you do have a little bit of money spare, please look at some of the causes that you could be supporting, like orphans, the widows, building a home for a widow or an orphan, helping them with their education.
Definitely goes up all the way to heaven.
Yeah,
inshallah.
We're going to Channel S tomorrow, and inshallah all the viewers will
tune in tomorrow,
support the cause, and inshallah at least sponsor one orphan.
Inshallah, I think that's a really good point.
Thank you for your call. And can I also encourage you to help with our Launch Good challenge, where you can give a little amount, even £1 or whatever you feel comfortable with, and encourage others to do the same tonight. And if we get a lot of support, the more sort of donations we get, the more chance we have of winning $5,000 with the Launch Good challenge.
That's right. Okay, then, thank you for your call.
Alhamdulillah, we won. So we had just over 1,100 supporters donate.
Okay, so that's a rough idea of how many supporters we need.
Inshallah, people will support us, and we will inshallah win that challenge as well. It's only £1, so even if everyone gets 5 to 10 people each to donate £1, that will help.
Yeah, that's just £10 between 10 people, isn't it? So
10 people,
inshallah, so do that. And
it's easy to do, really. You just get 5, brothers, sisters, family members, in-laws, your friends. I mean, 10 people is easy, really, to be honest.
Get your pets to do it. Do it in your pet's name.
Encouraging, people to do it.
And most importantly, please join us on our Channel S appeal tomorrow from 5 p.m. to Fajr time. It's channel 777, I believe.
That's right, yeah.
So inshallah, all our viewers, please join us tomorrow and help out as much as you can.
And do call in. We want more people to call in, share your views, share your comments, get involved in the discussions.
You know what? I want to just have this last topic. We're going to quickly discuss it. I mean, it has been dominated the news for the last week or so. And I don't know, Bodubai, I know you're a very football mad person. So it's regarding the Euro Super League.
He's football mad and he's mad as well.
Yeah, so,
I have my own views about football. I don't want to share.
What
I told you.
The uproar that caused in the last week has been unbelievable, with fans taking to the streets, etc., etc. And this is just a
European Super League.
Yeah, this is just a football matter. I mean, a lot of people I've read that if people took that passion into some of the inequalities that's in our societies, then a lot could be changed. Even though going to the football-related matter as well, the Kick Out Racism campaign that's going on at the moment, they're saying that if this kind of uproar was caused for that topic, then they could have done something to address the situation in regards to racism, etc., etc. So it just goes to show some of the priorities that we actually latch onto, which might not necessarily be the betterment of our communities, etc. I know most people are not interested in football, or they may be interested in football, but I myself like football. Bodubai doesn't like football, so but I just found it astonishing the level of hysteria that was surrounding 6 clubs from the UK joining a breakaway. It's not even they wasn't even breaking away to join a league of their own. They were trying to form a midweek competition albeit it was a closed one that they'll just play each other and not get relegated or etc. And it was motivated by money, obviously. But people were just going mad.
Well, I think Azafor, on that note, I just wanted to add that I think the sentiment behind it was probably the repercussions of establishing such a league on its own with the top clubs, and the consequences that might have on the clubs at the sort of like.
You know what I found quite funny about that. Sorry to interrupt. So, when was the last time Tottenham actually won something?
No, that's true. That was one of the questions.
They were counted as one of the elite teams in Europe, and I don't think they've won anything in the last 30 years. How does that work? I'm embarrassed. I'm an Arsenal supporter. I was embarrassed. Arsenal didn't even qualify for the Champions League, and now they're going to be in a Super League. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. I think Arsenal should be actually delegated, don't you think?
So we've got 5 minutes, so we'll quickly discuss that. Anyway, but I know you love football, so I'll let you go. Thank you very much for your call anyway. Inshallah, we'll speak soon.
Thanks for your call, but Dubai.
Hopefully we'll meet up soon.
Inshallah, yes, see you soon. Walaikum salam.
See you tomorrow.
So, yes, I think it was based on the club, with the Tottenham situation. I think it was more to do with the stadium they had. They nearly spent £1 billion on the stadium, top of a state-of-the-art stadium, etc. Similarly, I think Arsenal, I don't think they've never won the Champions League anyway. But I think it was all to do with the money aspect of it and how they can generate money. But then again, what I found funny was the Champions League. The reason why they were so vocal and opposed it as well, because they knew that they're going to lose money as well. They are just as crazy about the money aspect of it as anybody else, and that goes for FIFA as well. All they're interested in is the money. So that's the reason why, my personal view, UEFA was so critical and was so vocal against the breakaway league, is because they knew that there were serious financial problems if that league goes ahead, because most of the sponsors would go to them and the TV people as well. So it wasn't because of they want to protect the fans and the clubs and the league in the different countries and all that. That's the load of baloney. At the end of the day, mate, it comes down to the dollar and the pound, and that's all it was.
It would have had a very destructive effect on the domestic league. So, for example, in the Premier League, if you take those 6 big, so-called big teams out, it hollows out. You're left with like the.
Yeah, but they wasn't going to leave the league. They were going to play in the league. This was a midweek one.
No, but that's assuming that the league would be happy to accommodate them while they go off and do the other stuff.
It wasn't like they were going to leave the league and go form their own league.
On a slightly looking at it on a sort of slightly positive note, I was really amazed and really impressed by the outrage. You were saying, like the fans came out, the players came out. Even some of the managers, they came out and said, "Look, this is not a good idea."
Mr. Johnson,
and the fact that the outrage actually reversed the decision, it was fantastic. It's fantastic for the sport. It's a meritocratic sport.
That's what I'm saying. So,
it's good for the fans and hopefully the long-term future of the sort of footballing community.
I think there's a correlation here. Actually,
I don't even understand this whole thing. To be honest with you, I don't follow football.
You don't follow football.
I play football. I play football a couple of times a week if I can. Saturdays, Sundays, Mondays, whenever. I don't follow football. I can't name teams. I can't tell you, but I can tell you like all this Champions League, and I do follow these leagues and stuff like that. Sometimes, I like to watch a good game. But isn't that what all the leagues are about, making money? So if they are they not like, correct me if I'm wrong, are they all not like private organizations out there to make money? Even the footballers themselves are.
Well, basically, what it comes down to, due to the pandemic, a lot of these clubs have lost millions, hundreds of millions, because the fan hasn't been there, etc. So some of them are struggling. Spanish clubs like Real Madrid and Barcelona. Barcelona, I think, needed €1 billion in debt. Wow. Just imagine €1 billion in debt. Yeah. So, I can understand their side of it, that they wanted to generate a bit more income if they could get this additional league where they will play each other, and it'll be for big money. Basically, they'll get a lot of money.
What would
out
have happened if they went ahead and played in that midweek league or whatever? Yes,
I think what was
we will still be watching them on TV, right? Just another game.
A lot of the owners of the clubs are from the States, and in the States, United States, I'm referring to, they already have similar competitions. So I think in the basketball league, they have a group of elite teams. They can never be relegated, and they just play
Is that
each other.
the NFL or something? Yeah.
I'm not sure, but in the basketball league, the top teams, they have a close competition. So it's like the Champions League of basketball, if you like. But those top teams, they never get relegated. So they're on.
I just wanted to mention two important points in the whole thing. What we need to do
it's a kind of like a showbiz thing, So it's not sport; it's sports entertainment. It becomes a different thing. Yeah. Whereas I think in the European and other sort of football tradition,
UK is like a generation thing. It's about the fans. They follow a particular team their whole.
I was just going to touch on that. I was just going to say that.
Everyone finished on how well you play. It's not meant to be just like, oh, you got the top 10 teams and that's it.
There's two aspects. You guys have already touched on one of them, is the economic aspect of it. The owners of these clubs, they're all their interests. Some of these owners haven't even come to one of the games, the clubs that they own. So they're interested in money. But on the flip side of things, we also need to take account, in the UK in particular, football is a passion for people. Football is part of a culture in a way. Like you said, Azafor, you've got grandfathers, fathers, and then grandsons and daughters, and different generations supporting the club. It's become part of the culture, and they are diehard fans of these clubs. So for them, something like that to happen, it actually affects them in a more personal way. So that is the difference between sort of a club in America.
That's why they took to the streets.
That's why they took to the streets. Exactly.
They want to save their cultural club.
It was a reaction.
I found it was interesting and a little bit ironic that everyone came out to stay in Europe, if you know what I mean, in the Champions League and so on, to maintain a European structure as opposed to breaking away to make more money. That's a bit ironic in a way. But also, there's another point, which is that a lot of these big clubs, they do have fan base all over the world. So I believe like Man United has a lot of fans in China. Yeah. I think Arsenal have a lot of fans in North Africa. They have a lot of players coming from there. So a lot of these international fans, they love to see their clubs playing, all the big clubs. I want to see Arsenal playing Real Madrid. I want to see Man United playing Barcelona. So for them, that's the sort of audience they were aiming at. And imagine the Chinese market, potentially the Indian market, that's where the big money is in the future. So that's what they were looking at. But then they were going against the passion, the tradition, the heritage of what the game is built around, at the moment in Europe.
Anyway, we'll have to talk about more. But unfortunately, our show has come to an end, just as the topic was getting interesting. Well, thank you very much, Shahi, Foysal.
So before we go, can we just, quickly just remind everyone about the appeals? Please, we were looking for 3 orphan sponsorships, and we would love you to support our Launch Good competition, where even as little as £1, if you as many individual donations as possible. So get all your friends and family to, go to the link and contribute. Launchgood.com. It's on the poster there.
We have 24 hours from midnight tonight. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. And the more donations we get, the better chance we have of winning the $5,000. And that will go towards helping orphans, widows, and the economic help for needy families in Bangladesh.
And also on that note, please join us for our live appeal tomorrow on Channel S from 5 p.m. until Fajr time. Please get your friends and family to join us as well, and hopefully make a small donation as well. The more money we raise, the more people we can help. So with that, thank you for joining me on tonight's show. And hopefully next week, Friday, we'll be back at the same time, midnight, with more exciting topics. And
providing
please call in.
We don't have any more technical hiccups.
Yeah, so please call in, make comments, and inshallah we shall have a laugh as well. Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.